You are 23. You have $340 in your checking account, and that feels fine. Not alarming. Not yet. You're young and employed, and the paycheck arrives every 2 weeks like a small, reliable promise. There's always more coming. That's what 23 feels like. Money is a current, not a reservoir. It flows in and flows out, and you don't think much about what's accumulating on the floor of it. The apartment costs $875 a month. You split it with someone you met in college. The utilities are maybe $60 each. You have a car payment of $312 because you bought something you couldn't quite afford, but could technically qualify for, which felt like the same thing at the time. You subscribe to things, not recklessly, just gradually. The $47 leaves your account every month with the quiet efficiency of something that is learned. You won't stop it. At 23, you hear about a 401k at work. Your company offers a match. They'll contribute 50 cents for every dollar you put in, up to 6% of your salary. Your HR rep explains this during orientation in a conference room with bad lighting and a plate of cookies going stale by the window. You listen. You nod. You think, I'll set that up soon. You fill out the health insurance forms instead, because that feels more urgent, more real. There's a deadline on it, and the 401k deadline is just your life. You don't set it up that week or the next. Months pass, not dramatically, just quietly. The way months do at 23, when every week feels vaguely similar to the last. You tell yourself you'll start when things stabilize. When you pay off the credit card, when the car is paid down, when you feel ready, which feels like it's approaching but never quite arrives. You are 23 and contributing $0. The number feels like nothing. It will not always feel like nothing. You are 26. You got a raise, $4,200 more per year, and the low-grade financial anxiety that lived in your chest for 3 years loosens slightly. You breathe a little differently. You sit differently in restaurants, small things. You notice them without examining them. It disappears, not into savings, into the upgraded life. A one-bedroom apartment now, $1,150, because you wanted space and you'd earned it. Nicer restaurants occasionally, a mattress to replace the one slowly ruining your back, a laptop, a rug, a lamp, a coffee table for $280 that looks exactly right in the corner of the room. The lifestyle expands to meet the income. It does this for almost everyone, almost automatically, like a gas filling the shape of whatever container holds it. You don't decide for this to happen. You simply continue living, and living costs what living costs, and the costs find the money. At 26, you contribute 2% to the 401k, only because a coworker mentions the match in the break room in a tone so matter-of-fact it cuts through whatever had been stopping you. 2%. Your company adds 3% total, going in each month. The savings account has $650, which you've been calling an emergency fund, though you've withdrawn from it twice and replaced it, which means it isn't one. An emergency fund you borrow from is just a credit card with extra steps. Compounding is not complicated. It is simply time applied to money, repeatedly, without interruption. If you had put $200 a month into a retirement account from 22 to 32, 10 years, then stopped entirely, you would have more money at 65 than someone who contributed the same $200 a month from 32 all the way to 65. More, from less time, because the first 10 years carry the most compounding weight. They are the foundation the rest of the structure stands on. Every year you wait doesn't just delay the growth. It removes the year that would have done the most work. You are 26. You have $1,947 in your retirement account. You have been employed for 4 years. You are 29. Something has changed. Not your circumstances, not dramatically, but something interior. A low-pressure system that has been building without a name. Your friends are buying homes. You went to a housewarming last month and stood in a kitchen with granite countertops and new appliances, while the owner explained her fixed mortgage rate with quiet satisfaction, and you smiled and said the right things and felt, underneath the smile, something you couldn't quite call by its correct name. You've started checking your banking app more than once a day. Not out of discipline, out of anxiety. There's a difference. Discipline checks a number to make a decision. Anxiety checks a number, hoping it will be different from what you expect, and then feels neither relief nor resolution when it isn't. One Sunday evening, you open a spreadsheet. Not a budget, not yet, just a list. You type your monthly expenses for the first time with real honesty. No rounding, no forgetting the subscriptions. The total is $3,940. Your take-home is $4,200. You sit with the gap for a moment, $260. The $260 doesn't make you cry. It does something quieter than that. It makes you understand, for the first time, that you have not been failing to save money. You have been succeeding at spending it, completely, every month, with tremendous consistency. You close the spreadsheet. The cursor blinks. You are 31. The car breaks down in October. The repair is $1,100. The savings account has $480 in it. You put the repair on the credit card, which now carries $2,600 at 22% interest. You pay $130 a month. At that rate, factoring in interest, it will take you nearly 3 years to clear. You know this because you looked it up this time, which is new. This is what no one explains with sufficient honesty. The real damage of living without financial margin is not the individual emergencies. It's what they do to your psychology over time. Every unexpected cost becomes a small crisis. Every bill feels like a negotiation with your own life. You're not building, you're managing. You're reactive, perpetually. The retirement account has $6,400. You have been earning a salary for 9 years. The account has $6,400. You read that sentence the same way you'd read the words on a medical report. Carefully, twice, allowing the meaning to arrive fully. You are 33. You're earning $68,000. You've increased contributions to 8%. The credit card is down to $900. The student loans are at $19,400, down from $28,000. These are real numbers representing real progress. You hold on to that. Some days the holding takes effort. The retirement account has $14,200. You don't say that number out loud to anyone. Financial anxiety is one of the most private forms of suffering that exists. More private than loneliness, more private than grief, because at least grief has a social form. There are rituals for grief. There is no ritual for sitting across from someone at dinner and knowing precisely that you are behind. There is no ritual for sitting across from someone at dinner and knowing precisely that you are behind in a way that cannot be recovered without years of discipline you are not entirely sure you have. So you don't say the number. You let the conversation move around it, over it, the way water moves around something submerged. What you carry instead is a low-grade shame with no clear address. Not directed at specific decisions, just at the overall shape of things. The gap between where you are and where some earlier, more optimistic version of you assumed you'd be by now. That version had a vague but confident sense that it would all work out, that money was something you'd figure out, that there was time. You are 35. A coworker, she's 41, quiet, competent, someone you've never heard complain about money, mentions in passing that her 401k crossed $200,000 last month. She says it the way you'd mention the weather. She started contributing at 22, she says. Never stopped. Didn't do anything sophisticated. Just contributed through the raises and the lean years and the stretches when it felt too small to matter. She smiles briefly, and the conversation moves on to something else. You walk back to your desk. You sit down. The cursor blinks in the middle of a sentence you stopped writing. You don't finish it. You pick up a piece of paper and write the math instead. Her number, your number, the difference. You have been doing this arithmetic since the printer area, and you have not stopped. You drive home and your hands are on the wheel, And you are not thinking about traffic. You are doing arithmetic. You are 35, and you have $24,000. The distance between those two numbers is not primarily a distance in dollars. It is a distance in time. In the years you had at 22, 23, 24, when money placed into a compound account would have had the longest runway, the most years to multiply, the most time to become something unrecognizable from what it started as. You sit in the parking garage with the engine off. The structure is dim and smells like concrete and exhaust. You are not crying. You are doing the thing that is somehow harder than crying. You are seeing clearly. You are 35, and you are seeing, with precision, the shape of your own financial life as it actually is. Not as you'd hoped it might be, not approximate, not rounded. The exact shape of it. You don't open your phone. You don't distract yourself away from the clarity. You let the discomfort be what it is. Information, not verdict. And you stay with it long enough for it to become something you can use. This is the part that doesn't get filmed. The staying, the not escaping. The sitting in a concrete garage until the thing you are feeling becomes the thing you can carry forward. What beginning again at 35 actually feels like is not triumphant. It feels like arriving late to something important and taking your seat anyway, quietly, while it's already in progress. There's a specific humility in it that nobody talks about because it doesn't make a good story. It's not transformation. It's just the unglamorous act of doing the thing you should have done earlier, now, without the benefit of dramatic conversion. You increase contributions to 15%. You open a Roth IRA. You automate the deposit on the day after payday, so the money moves before you can see it and miss it. Because you understand now that willpower is a daily renegotiation and systems are not. You write out the debt, $14,000 in loans, the credit card cleared finally, actually. And you give each dollar a date, a month, a projected zero. And then comes the part no one prepares you for, the waiting. The watching the account grow by small amounts over months that feel slow. The months when nothing appears to change. The understanding that the compounding you missed by starting late cannot be recovered through intensity, only through time, and only through not stopping. You will not experience the early acceleration. You are entering the graph at a later point on the curve. That is simply true. But the curve is still there. The math still works. It works for 35 the same way it worked for 22, just with fewer years ahead of it. Which means each remaining year costs more and matters more and should be treated accordingly. You understand this now, not as advice, but as physics. Not as motivation, but as fact. You are 35. The lamp is on. The spreadsheet is open at 11:40 at night, and the coffee has gone cold beside you. Outside, the city continues, indifferent. The numbers on the screen are exact. They are not what you wanted them to be. They are what they are, and they are yours. And for the first time in a long time, you are not looking away from them. You understand something now that you could not have understood at 23 without living through it. The years were always the asset, not the salary, not the raises, not the moments when you finally felt ready. The years themselves, ordinary, unremarkable, moving whether you used them or not. You used some of them well. You used some of them as though they were free. They were never free. They were always the most expensive thing you had. You don't get the years back. You just decide what to do with the ones still arriving.